everybody. What's going on, my friends? Okay. All right. This video may last just about 2 seconds because I have like such low battery on my phone right now, and I'm trying for some reason my cord isn't working, my charger cord. Damn you. Like one of those like Five Below super cheap cords, and there you have it. It's just not working. So I'm going to share this out real quick to my biz page, and I wanted to come on and talk to you real quick. By the way, happy Christmas Eve to those of you who are celebrating Christmas. If you are not, then I hope you're having just an incredible day anyways. And I wanted to share with you something that I saw on a recent post. Hold on, I'm gonna just share this out. Merry Christmas Eve, thank you. Something that I saw on a post in a group that I belong to about empaths. I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was an interesting question. And I'll share with you, my response and my answer to that. It may not be the same as everyone else's. I know there were a ton of different ideas, a ton of different opinions, but this is what I have to say on that. So the question in the group was, can an empath be abusive? And I thought that was really an interesting question, because so many times we talk a lot about how empaths tend to get into relationships with narcissists. Or a narcissist, I mean, being a real honest to God narcissist is actually a rarer thing. Somebody may have narcissistic tendencies, but I think that word is used a little too freely. But let's put it this way. Empaths tend to attract toxic relationships, okay? And you hear a lot about how empaths are overloaded. They absorb other people's energy. They try to heal everybody, or they try to please everybody, or they're trying to just, really overgive. And so oftentimes we talk a lot about how empaths are the ones who are kind of like almost like the victims of things. And I don't want to use that word necessarily, because I feel like really that victim energy can be a dangerous place to be. If you choose to stay there, there are bad things that happen to us, and let's, acknowledge that and honor that. Sometimes, shit happens to us and we are the victim of something, but to stay in that mindset for periods of time is another thing, but that's for another video. So my answer to this question about whether or not empaths can be abusive, my answer was, oh yeah, we can. Like, shit, yeah, we can. That's the short answer. And why? Because everybody has a shadow side. Just because we are empaths, just because we tend to be very, very feeling, very emotional, very connected, and very compassionate, which are great, great qualities. Like, that's some of the gifts about being an empath, that you have these abilities to be very compassionate, to really connect with people on a soul level. Like if somebody says they feel bad or they're grieving, you can say, I know how you feel. And you honestly, genuinely mean it, because you're picking up on their energy and you're sharing that with them. And that's not to bypass anybody's feelings. You want to hold space for them. I want to make that clear as a disclaimer. I'm just saying you truly can a lot of times feel where people are coming from, which is a gift, right? But also on that note though, we still have a shadow side. Even though we have those beautiful gifts, even though we are actually just really, really feeling oftentimes very giving, very caring people, we have a shadow side. And sometimes we tend to attract, or I would say oftentimes, maybe sometimes even all the time, we tend to attract those narcissistic type of relationships or toxic relationships, because it is a reflection of a side of us that we have not acknowledged, or that we refuse to see, or that we have not processed or dealt with or accepted about ourselves. That's it. So we tend to get into those relationships because of this. There's a side of us that has its own toxicity that we're not willing to see, or we're not willing to process, or old pain that's resurfacing, an old pattern that we're not getting past or releasing or working through yet. So because we're not working through those patterns, if we haven't done that work, we can absolutely be toxic. Why? Because we get into that victim mentality like I was talking about. We can do a few different things. We can get into that victim mentality, or get into that martyr mode where I'm just giving and giving and giving, and only I can love. And it's a shame that people can't love the way I love, or people can't give the way I give, or I just need to take care of everything and make everybody feel okay because that's what I do. I'm an empath, or just because that's how you feel, your role is supposed to be, right? So we can get into one of those modes, and those are toxic. Those are going on the other side of the spectrum, right? It's great to be giving and do this with a giving heart. And it's okay to acknowledge when you're hurt and when someone's hurt you, and just really feel that. But to live that in that space and then use it to project onto other people in your life, that's toxic, okay? So we can be abusive in that way. I think many, many times, though, I want to say this, though, that empaths can often be abusive to themselves. And that's where empaths can get into trouble. Why? Because we use our identity as an empath in order to hide behind it so that we either don't have to connect with the world, so we become very disconnected, very isolated, and therefore kind of can be lonely and sad, or we hide behind our sensitivities. I'm going to absorb energy, I can't, or I feel like I'm absorbing every toxic thing in the world, or I'm absorbing entities, or I'm doing this thing. We use that as a place of fear. Not because your gifts as an empath, you can use them to empower yourselves. Those empaths that haven't done the work in order to empower themselves or use their gifts for good and making a life that they love, you haven't learned to do that yet. And that includes doing your shadow work, by the way, right? It's your own spiritual awakening to being an empath. Then you can use them as an excuse to disconnect. You can use them as an excuse to hide in fear. You can use them as an excuse to be a spectator and not participate in your own life. You can use them as an excuse to, shut out other people. You can use it as an excuse to separate yourself from other people, okay? Some people may even use it as an excuse to feel more elite, like I'm part of some spiritual club and I am just, in a better than space. There are so many things that can happen from that. So absolutely, with all that being said, that means absolutely empaths can be abusive. I don't know if I would say it's not intentional, but we tend to live in these spaces that are unhealthy if we don't do the work. The good news is when you do the work, it's freeing, it's empowering, and you will feel like you are absolutely like 100% confident and grounded in who you are and your connection with spirit, by the way, because empaths are usually psychic, very intuitive or psychic. So that's another thing that doing that work helps you to do, is just nurture and grow those gifts and those sides of yourself. So you can use that to create an amazing life. You can use that to become a healer and do things like energy healing. You can use them to become a light in the world, and not to convince people to do certain things, but more to just be the light. You're just being. You're not convincing. You're not trying to, you're not separating yourself or seeing people as good or bad or like woke or not woke. You're here to just be the light. And once you step into that empath power and out of those other mentalities that I was talking about, then you become that light that you can just ignite other people with. And it's great in an authentic way. So, so good. So with that, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I thought that was a really, really interesting post, and I'm so glad somebody posted that question. This is one of the Facebook groups that I belong in about empaths, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, because it was a great conversation to have. And by the way, if you're having trouble living in fear, in victim mode, in martyr mode, in any of those places, I am about to do a program January 1st, okay, less than 2 weeks, called Becoming Fearless as Fuck, which is all about that very thing, getting yourself out of that mode. Why? Because then you attract toxic relationships, toxic situations over and over and over again. And you probably feel drained and overwhelmed and shitty, like you can't get ahead in your life, or like you can't build a life that you're really happy with. You don't remember what it's like to feel really happy or joyful. That's coming from a place of fear and lack within. So in this program, it's 4 weeks live on Facebook in a private group with me, okay, where we're going to be really, really diving into this work. So wondering and finding out where your fear is coming from. Where does that come from? And then how do you, or maybe it's coming from just one of the human fears that we all deal with, like abandonment, rejection, fear of success, all these different things. Really finding out where does that fear come from, releasing that fear, releasing any of those fears from old patterns and old stories that have been holding you back, doing an energy balance. We're going to do a chakra clearing and a balancing so that we can understand how do your energy centers how do your fears affect your energy centers? Where are they coming from within your body? And then balancing those and clearing them. We're going to do that in a group clearing. And then we're going to realign yourself so that I know exactly who I am and what I want, and I can declare it courageously and fearlessly and go out and do the damn thing. Okay, whatever that may be. And I'm not scared about what other people think. I'm not scared that it's too late. I'm not scared that it's too early. I'm not scared that I'm going to repeat old patterns. You are fucking fearless. You're going to have that transformation. So that's my program. Look in the comments. The link to enroll and jump in is right there, and you can see all the details about how to get in and what the costs are and the payment plans and all that. The other thing I want to tell you is I have a New Year's Day reading that if you purchase this now, I'm only going to have it for the next couple of days, and then I've got all spots are full because this is going to be a big reading. It's like a 13 card spread where I'm going to do the energy for your entire year in every aspect of life, in every season, and then I'm going to write you up a report with all the meanings of the cards, a nice picture of your reading, and then any intuitive insights that I get personally about your situation. So it's really, really awesome to give you kind of a jump start and an idea of what's coming at you in the next year, what's around you, or maybe what needs to be released. So that is my New Year's reading. Go to my website, soulalignedreadings.com, and you can purchase it there. If you want to gift it to a friend, you can get a second one for 50% off, which is fucking awesome. So you just have to let me know who you're gifting it to and their name and email, okay? And the other thing is my holiday healing package, that's almost gone too. A 30-minute phone reading with me and a distance Reiki session with a little write-up about what I found and what I felt, is also at a discounted price for the next few days. All these things, my Becoming Fearless as Fuck program, is the enrollment will be closing soon for that. Doors are closing soon. And then my 2 packages, my New Year's reading and holiday healing, they're going to be gone soon. So I'm telling you now. So if you want to do this and invest in yourself and gift yourself these things, okay? And we can work together on that. These are your last chances. Look in the comments. The link to all of them are right there, okay? So with that, I love you guys so much. Any questions about this, about empath, anything, join my group, The Awakened Empath. We talk all about that. Ask me here, comment below, tag me or send me a private message, and I'm here for you to help because I want my empaths to have the most empowered, fulfilling life possible and to heal their shit, okay? That's what we're doing in 2020. If you're going to step up, my light worker friend, which we need you, okay, then we're going to heal our shit, and then we need to move forward in a courageous way. All right, so I will see you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Merry Christmas Eve to those celebrating Christmas, and merry everything else to the rest of you. Have an incredible day full of love and joy and peace, my friends.